This is Paul with Sons of Speed, and today we are with the all-new 2020 Hyundai Sonata Limited 1.6 Turbo. This is their full-size flagship sedan. And what I want to talk about is, we'll get a little bit of the exterior, because there's a lot of changes from the last Hyundai. So, wait, come on. Okay, so, you can see on the top, we have this kind of integrated rear wing. It's actually a really kind of cool, slick design that they did. They got some vortex generators. Come back. We also want to get down here. We actually have pretty big ass exhaust there, and then we have some more aero down at the bottom. Okay, so actually for a family sedan, this car's got some aero. So now, wait, come back. Okay, so we got 18-inch, 235/45R 18-inch tires. These are all season, obviously. Wait, come, would you stop? Okay, we don't want to show you the front just yet. All right, so now we got the side view. It's actually, it's a pretty big car. They actually increased the size of the profile. Come back. Okay, very nice wheels, actually. And you actually have functioning brake ducts. Okay, where do you see that in a normal sedan? That's actually pretty cool. So now, all right, fine, go show them the front. All right, and then we have the catfish. So, love it or hate it, this is a new front end of the Hyundai Sonata. Now, I do have to say, the LED running lights do look pretty cool, going up the sides and kind of fading into the chrome. That's actually really ingenious. And then of course you have the LED lights that are very, very bright and at night, so that's really nice. And again, it's a handsome looking car. It's just, I'm not sure about that front end. Maybe it will grow on me, we'll see.
All right, Paul, so we are now inside the Sonata. This is the 2020 version, all brand new.
Yep.
It's got Hyundai's design interior architecture,
Yeah.
which I really like.
It's very handsome interior, definitely. The way that the infotainment screen integrates into the dash is exactly how we like it. Doesn't look like someone just stuck an iPad on the dash.
And you can tell that because it curves into, on the left side, curves right into the end of the dash on there. And you've got that beautiful TFT display.
Yep.
So there's no analog gauges at all in the car. You've got a beautiful screen with your tachometer and your speedometer and all your driver information.
Yeah, and what's nice is it's actually a tri mode. Like, you have navigation, then you have your radio, and then you even have like weather and whatever else you want to put on the end. So you can like do 3 things at once. So it's actually really functional.
This is very well done.
Very well done, yes.
And the one thing that that Paul pointed out that is really genius, and I have not seen on any car, is about the gas gauge. It's a small little thing, but
yeah, it's just these tiny little attention to details that just make it really, really nice. It shows you, obviously, it's got a gauge that shows you full and empty, but underneath it shows you the range always on, so you don't have to flip through screens to see how much range you have. It's always there. It's genius.
Absolutely genius. And with these actually full computer displays for gauges, this is the kind of thing that if some other manufacturer was like, oh, that's a good idea, they could literally do a software update and put it on their car.
Yeah, because I mean, there are no dials or anything. This is a complete video screen, and it's just configured the way Hyundai wants to configure it.
Yep. So let's talk about propulsion, because you've got this 1.6 liter turbo engine, which doesn't sound like it's going to go anywhere or that it's got any pep, but
it's pretty torquey, actually.
Yeah.
You know, when you get a green light and you hit the gas, you actually have to control the front wheels because it's going to move on you.
So that's a little bit of a downside is that it's only front-wheel drive.
Yes.
And we don't have an all-wheel drive system really helping with control the torque and things like that. So you do get a little bit of torque here, which is really interesting because the Veloster N from Hyundai has a fabulous front-wheel drive system that you almost can't tell is front-wheel drive.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely a different audience. That is an audience that's going to be accelerating off of every green light and just, plowing through the gears and stuff. And the buyer of this car is probably not going to be doing that.
And that's a shame because it actually does get up and go, and it sounds pretty good too. Let's see what it.
Now you have to wait a little bit for that turbo to spool up, but once it does, it really kicks it.
It has a lot of torque. This thing will move, so it's not an econo box motor at all. It does get up and move. The neat thing is when it's the sport mode, the tachometer, after it shows you an explosion graphic of the entire digital cluster just blowing up and going into red mode for sport mode. But the tachometer sweeps in the opposite direction, which I haven't seen on a car since my Fiat X19 back in '88.
It's a little weird. It's kind of cool because the speedometer goes one way and the tachometer goes the other,
and they're going toward each other, so you can see what you need to see when this is coming up to the red line and the speed is going this way, and that's the idea behind putting them in that direction. But it's just another cool little attention to detail about this car, such as the sunroof. You got this. It's not quite full panoramic, but as big as the roof will allow. They have put glass up here. You do have a bar in between, but you've got a giant front sunroof, and then you've got a little one for the back seat. And again, in a car the size of a Camry, that's about all you can do, but they did it. Between that, these little cool vents, which are very narrow and lined in stainless steel.
I would say Hyundai and its sister company Kia have been rocking the interiors.
Oh my God. So they are, as I said this on another video, they are today where Audi was 10 to 15 years ago, where everybody was like, wow, Audi really has got their interiors going, and everybody wanted an Audi-like interior. And I guess it's no surprise that Kia and Hyundai are in such a zone with interiors because I think they stole a bunch of engineers and designers from Audi and
took
BMW.
A BMW guy for the Veloster, yes.
Yeah, and I know they got one from Audi for the Stinger, I think. So it's no wonder the interiors are so nice. I mean, this is how much is this car again?
Okay, in its base form, it starts at around $24,000-$25,000, and you can max it out at around $34,000. But we'll put the exact prices up on the screen.
So, but for less, I mean, way less than $40,000.
Yes.
You've got a car that can haul an entire family, goes pretty good, has amazing design, maybe except for that front end, which is fixable. Come on, Hyundai, just round off the edges.
The 2022 refresh.
Yes. This may be like the split window Stingray, except that this won't be a collectible in 50 years. But they got to just fix that front end because the rear end is really nice.
The rear end is nice.
The lines are nice.
The side profiles are beautiful. It's just like, what were they thinking?
I don't know.
But anyway, we won't dwell on it.
Aside from that, though, the car drives really, really nice. You've got a little cell phone holder here because they really have thought. I mean, you've got QI charging. Obviously, you've got your USB ports, which I'm glad to see a USB-A port here because I just got out of a Mercedes-Benz, what was it, a GLC 300 that didn't have a USB-A port. I couldn't, it was, I had my normal lightning cable and I couldn't plug it in anywhere. Because they went to USB-C to lightning only, and you would think they would at least keep an A and put a C, have both. I mean, you're in a transition period. You can't just do that. And thankfully, Hyundai has not done that. I had plenty of room here in the passenger seat.
In the rear seat room. This is a large car. I think it's about kind of the Toyota Camry size, maybe even between a Camry and an Avalon. So it is a big vehicle. It's a big vehicle.
I'm 6 feet tall, over 6 feet tall, and I can literally stretch my legs out entirely.
And there's plenty of headroom,
even with the sunroof.
Yeah.
So this is definitely, Hyundai has really put a very good product out right here with the Sonata, the new Sonata, and they've got. I know you don't really like the push buttons.
I'm not a big fan, but it does make sense. It keeps it nice and tidy
and low.
and low. And then when you really don't even have to put it in park anymore, you just turn off the car and it will automatically go into park for you.
Right.
So there are some advantages of having the push button system where you don't have an actual lever that you have to move back and forth. But it's just a getting used to factor.
They had that in the Palisade, and I really liked it in the Palisade because the Palisade, the center stack is really wide, and it just wouldn't have made sense.
I can see where it makes sense in a really wide center stack. Yeah, I can see that.
Now you've got different drive modes, so we know about sport.
You have.
Let's see what else we've got.
You have smart.
Okay.
Normal, and then sport, and then custom, where you can kind of, make the shifts more quicker, but don't have to go with the accelerator pedal being more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Less responsive.
Less responsive.
Because in sport mode, it's super responsive.
Yes, it is. It's actually very twitchy, almost twitchy.
Yeah, I like that. I like a responsive gas pedal, but if you just are kind of creeping along in traffic and you don't want it to be like herky-jerky, you can deaden that with either sport or smart mode or one of the other modes, and you can obviously customize everything.
Yes,
in custom mode. I don't feel a big change in the suspension between.
I don't even think there is one. No. If there is, it's so subtle that I'm not feeling it.
No, I mean at 34,000, you don't expect mag ride or anything along those lines. But it's just going to change the steering feel.
But the suspension is great for cruising. It's not going to be super firm. It's not super soft. It's just a very well dampening suspension.
It just reminds me of what you get from a Toyota.
Yeah.
Hondas are usually a little bit more sport tuned.
Yes.
So it's not quite that, but it's kind of in between.
Yeah, it's kind of in between. It's like the Goldilocks.
Exactly.
So one thing that, just a couple of nibbles here or quibbles. The center stack is using hard plastic, and that's what I'm resting my knee on, and that's kind of annoying. Why couldn't they just take this softer dash material and put it there? That would have been nice. And we'll show you this as well, but when you put the turn signals on, you do actually get to see a camera view of what's on the right side of you and then what's on the left side of you, depending on which way you turn.
Which debuted in the Palisade.
And also the sister car, the Kia Telluride. So we love that. That's amazing. But the more I use it, I would have loved to have it continue to stay on for 3 more seconds after I let go of the turn signal, only because I'm putting on the turn signal to tell everybody that I'm turning, and now while I'm making the turn, it would have been nice to still be able to see what's next to me. Now I know I can still hold the turn signal, but then I got to turn it off. It would just be nicer if they actually kept it on for an additional 3 seconds after you let go.
Exactly. And speaking of turn signals, these are really nice turn signals. Yes. They've got almost
the black gloss. I mean, they're really well designed.
They're textured. They have this diamond texture to them,
and they have a lot of functionality on them, but they're very clearly spelled out, so you don't have to figure out, oh wait a minute, I need to turn on the lights. How do I do that?
Goes back to Hyundai putting in functional interiors that you can use, and buttons where there should be buttons, and it's just everything is well laid out. I know the one thing that was bothering you, and it's with all these companies being very safety minded, it's hard to blame them. But if you turn the car on and you don't put your seatbelt on, it won't go anywhere.
Yeah,
initially.
It keeps the electronic handbrake on
until you manually turn that off, or you put your seatbelt on.
Yeah, and of course we're not advocating driving without your seatbelt, but if you just want to move the car up the driveway a couple feet or something, it's kind of annoying that you got to sit there and put your belt on.
I know.
For just for literally moving your car a couple feet.
At least it doesn't give you the blaring horn interior sound that the Avalon did to me when I was just moving the car around a parking lot at 3 miles an hour, and it didn't like the fact I didn't put my seatbelt on. But those are little things. You know what? If car manufacturers made perfect cars, we would have nothing to talk about.
Exactly. And this car. I mean, in a nutshell, the safety tech is amazing. It's got the lane assist. It has blind spot monitoring, which actually displays it in the head-up display, which I love.
Oh, we forgot to talk about the head-up display. That's
awesome.
Yes,
it has the head-up display.
On a $34,000 car.
And it does have a lot of information. It shows you the speed limit as well as your current speed. And when you go in navigation mode, it shows you all the turns and everything that you have to do.
It just keeps your eyes on the road where they ought to be.
Eyes on the road where you ought to be. And like I said before, blind spot monitoring. If someone's in your blind spot, it alerts you on the mirror and also in your head-up display.
Right,
which
because
is,
if you're looking out the windshield,
again,
you don't always see that.
Hyundai, it's just genius, really.
There are so many good things like that about this car.
Now, the bad points. Okay, the turbo lag is there's a lot of turbo lag.
It's noticeable.
Okay? The front grip when you first accelerate is very squirrely. In fact, you almost want to. The car feels like it's almost going to go into the right lane.
Old school torque steer.
Old school torque steer, and it drives really nice, but it's just, at least for our taste, it's just not that sporty. This is not a sports car by any means.
Now, if they made an N version, fix the front wheel drive, put a little more power into it, and sport tune the suspension, now we're talking. And who knows, maybe that might be coming out because, Hyundai's chief, one of the guys high up in there just said, basically, we can N anything. And they were thinking of doing it to many more models. And I would love to see them actually, because there's an AMG model of, I think, almost pretty much every Mercedes.
This could be like the M7 version of the BMW.
Exactly. Why not? And the Germans are doing it, and whatever the Germans are doing, Hyundai seems to be doing better. So it's and cheaper. They put more stuff in the car for less money, and it drives just as good in most cases. And so the new Sonata is no exception to that rule. So fix the front end, a little bit more on the sport tuning and the engine, the turbo lag, and maybe an all-wheel drive version would be great.
The all-wheel drive would fix a lot of the problems.
Absolutely.
A lot of problems. That would be, even as an upgrade or an option, just, offer. I think they're doing it now on the Camry. Toyota's now offering all-wheel drive on the Camry. Hyundai, let's go. Let's do it. Let's get all-wheel drive option on the Sonata. It would really help this car out. And with that, this has been Paul
and Brendan
with Sons of Speed. Please subscribe to our channel. It really does help.
It's one click from you, but it helps us a tremendous amount, and we really, really do appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did like it as well, throw us a comment. Let us know what you think about the new Sonata, and we'll catch you at the next video.
Take care.
So if you ever find yourself in this situation, and I don't mean park next to a Corvette, what I mean is where you come back to your car and there is literally not enough room because some idiot parked too close to you. Well, fear not, with the Hyundai Sonata, with the Smaht Pahk feature, you can do this. So first you turn on the car remotely. You gotta give it a few seconds, and then you literally hit, let's get out of its way, you literally hit the reverse button. And voila, you just get into your car.